According to the Federal Statistical Office, one single person in Europe owns around 10,000 things. In the United States, 3 times as much. We don't just own things, we have to clean them up too. We store them in boxes, tidy them up frequently, we sort them carefully, and of course, we take them all with us when we move. And before that, we spend time searching them, whether online or in the store. We spend time choosing them out of all these items, and finally, we spend money buying them. I wonder how many years go by doing all that. How many years that we would actually like to spend otherwise. Now that I think about it, putting so much effort into something that most people don't consider being fulfilling is actually kind of ridiculous. Now, if you love doing all this, then there's nothing wrong about it. But most people looking back on their lives are not gonna be like, I wish I had bought more stuff. I wasn't always thinking like this. As a child, I collected all kinds of stuff, and when I no longer needed something, I would just store it away. I guess I was just thinking this is how it works. But as I got older, I realized the only thing I really wanted to collect was memories. It all started in my teenage years, when I moved in my first own apartment. Now that I was in my own space for the first time, surrounded only by my own energy, I became more aware of how I was feeling. And it didn't feel right to me, being surrounded by all of these things and memories. I felt restricted. I knew I didn't want to live like this. And so I started to declutter. Back then, there was no such term as minimalism. It was not a thing. Not that I knew of. And I didn't know anyone who felt the same way. I always had this deep desire for freedom, ever since I can remember. I guess part of it comes from my experience as a child. I remember being in situations a lot that I just wanted to leave, but I couldn't because obviously as a kid you depend on certain people, so you can't just leave a situation. So even in my early teenage years, I was striving to be independent. I wanted to have my own space as soon as possible, and I wanted to live a life where I didn't need a lot of things, so I would never depend on others, and I could go wherever I want. I'm still striving for it, because to me, freedom is probably the most valuable thing in life. The day I started to declutter, I didn't just get rid of things I no longer needed. As I was sorting out the things I didn't need to have in my life, I also became aware of what I let back in, not just material-wise. I became aware of the kind of people I would let in my life, the kind of thoughts I wanted to think. I became aware of the sounds I want to listen to, and the messages I would allow to get in my head. Basically, I became a whole new version, a grown version of myself, which eventually led to the awareness of how I want to live my life. I think the reason why most people feel so liberated on vacation is not only because they have some time off, but also because they only carry around what they really need to live. They can live just in the moment.